everybody. Sorry, I've just been having a bit of a chit chat with Richard. So thank you so much for joining today. We're really excited to see you again, and I'm excited to be back here. So I am here every fortnight on a Tuesday at 8 p.m. UK time. So thank you for joining. I'm going to say some hellos and let me know where you are joining in from, what country, what area. I'd love to speak to you guys. So hello to Elizabeth Jones, thanks so much for joining me. I forgot to do my intro. I'm Elly Charles, psychic medium. So some of you may have watched me before, some of you may not have, but come and let us know whether you're a newbie or a regular or a VIP. We'd love to see who's watching tonight and where you're watching from. YouTube. We've got Andrea 54 Hector. Hello, my spiritual sister and family, love and light. Thank you so much for that lovely message. Welcome to the show. And we'll just give out a few more shout outs. Hello, Sandra E, who's also on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Hope you're all enjoying the sunshine, guys. So Rebecca Whelan, if that's how I pronounce your name, thanks for joining in on Facebook. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, nice. Okay, let's see who else we've got. So are you all enjoying the sun? If you are, please drop some sun emojis. Hey, Julie Pears on Facebook from UK. Thanks so much for joining. Yeah, send me lots of sunflowers. Send me lots of sun emojis. Let's get more of the sun going. Hey, Mo May. That's cool. I like that name. Newbie to your show. Thank you so much for joining. Hopefully you will enjoy it and want to come again. Really appreciate it. Hey, Jade Fleming. Thanks so much for being here. You're in Crowland, Lincolnshire. Thanks for tuning in. And Faye McDonald is also from Facebook, and you are from Nova Scotia. So thank you so much for joining from there. There's any more people? So we're just waiting for Richard to get some more hellos up. So Jill Reynolds is from Birmingham. So thanks so much for joining. So guys, like, remember what you got to do here. You got to get your get your keyboards out. Yay, we got some emojis coming in. Natalie Bentley, thank you so much from Essex for the suns, the sunshine. I've got my sunshine top on as well today for the sun as well. Doesn't it make you just want to be all happy, doesn't it? It makes everything so much better when it's warm. Brandy Kemp from Ontario, Canada. Thank you so much for joining in. What's the time over there? We've got Lisa Sears who's on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining. And we've got Kathy Noel from Georgia. Oh, okay, cool. What's the time there? And thank you so much for that emoji. I will send you one back. We've got Natalie from Huddersfield. That's quite cool, the way you've separated your name like that. Thank you so much for joining. And we've got B. Delia. If I've pronounced that correctly. Hello from San Francisco. Woohoo, we've got quite a few people over down that way this evening. We've got John Frost Healing Videos. Oh, that sounds cool, on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining in. Really appreciate it. And we've got Terry Louise. Thank you, Terry. Nice to see you again. Hope that you are enjoying your sunny evening. And we'll do another hello. Oh, Shelley, hello, how are you? Doesn't look like Bib Richard lol. Oh, has he gone and put bibs on tonight? It's okay. We are twins. Me and Bib are twins. He's definitely put Elly Charles. Good. Otherwise I'd be telling you off. No, only joking. No, me and Bib, for those who don't know, Bib also has been on this page, and she is my twin sister, and we are identical twins. We do look very similar. Desiree Bridges and David Barrard from Facebook, thank you for the sunflower and the sunshine emoji. I really appreciate that. And we've got Charlie from Warwickshire, UK. Okay, guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick it off with some readings to start with, and then we'll see how we go, because I'm sort of like, oh, I want to do readings, I want to do some learning, teaching, that type of thing. So we're just going to sort of like see how it goes. And hey, Jay from YouTube, thanks for joining, and we'll pick it up from there. But I wanted to start with doing some readings. So if you can all, oh, we got someone from New Zealand here. See, the comments are still coming around, so I'm getting distracted with what I'm saying. But hello, Carl Ross from New Zealand. What part of New Zealand? I used to live in New Zealand. I actually lived there for a whole year. and I lived in Morrinsville, which was near Auckland. Not super near, it was about an hour away in the car, but yeah, that's where I lived. So let me know where you live. So I got 2 sets of cards here, okay? I got a fortune telling deck here. And I've got my this is my cute one. It's actually a game. Where is it? I'll get the cover for you. I've got my Woodland Happy Families card deck. So you know the card game Happy Families? This is the Woodland version. So it is a game, but actually I do readings with them and with the other Happy Families card deck. And I also do cartomancy readings, which is with just a normal card deck, like, you know, the playing cards with the numbers. So I like to use different things like that just to sort of mix it up a little bit, so you're not using tarot and angel cards all the time. So South Island, Rangiora, if I pronounce that right, you know, Morrinsville. Oh, bless you. Okay, cool. So you're in the south. I was in the north, so yes. But you was born in Auckland. Ah, okay, awesome. So thank you for sharing that with me. Right, so what I want you guys to do, so if you would like a reading, I would like you to put down number 1 for fortune deck, number 2 for the happy Woodland family deck. Oh my gosh, the fortune deck one, I really fly out. And then keep your comments coming. Be polite, be kind as always, and I will start to pick a couple of people from particular decks who I am drawn to for a moment. So I'll let these comments just come in for a moment, and then we will go with that. Right, so we'll go with this first one that I'm seeing, just so we can get started. And it's with Faye McDonald, and she has put number 1 for fortune deck. Sorry guys, I got the hiccups quite a lot today, so if I'm hiccuping through this show tonight, please do forgive me, you know, but I will try to keep the sound down with the hiccuping. So I'm just going to pull you a card from this, Faye, and I think the comments have been paused, haven't they, Richard, for whilst I do this. And let's just see what's coming up. So I'm just doing this now, so obviously I can't see them. This one seems to want to come out. Okay, I'm just going to pull another one just to get a bit of backup from that. I need a third one. Oh, okay. Okay, so the cards that have come out for you, Faye, today. So I don't want you to be alarmed, because this, I think this is probably more to do with your emotions. You've got despair here, which has come out. So sorry to start it with obviously a negative, but it doesn't always have to be perceived as negative. What this card is actually telling you is that there's been, like, you've actually been through really quite a hard time for a period of time, or there's something going on around you at the moment that you're really feeling quite stuck in. And I know this because you've got the imprisonment card as well, okay? But the important thing to note with the imprisonment card, don't worry, you're not going to go to prison or get locked up or anything like that. But what this is representing is this stuck feeling of something that has really got you down, okay? You're very, like, you've been fed up, you know, that type of thing. But the important thing to note here is this rat right there. Okay, I kind of like, it's like a rat, but it looks like a mouse as well, but I'm saying it's a rat. And the rat is on the outside of the bars, but actually the spiritual symbolism of a rat actually represents prosperity. Okay, so what this is talking about is there is prosperity to come, but it just feels like it's out of reach for you at the moment. It feels like you can't grasp it. It feels like you can't grab it. It's like something's in the way for you, okay? So the other card that came out was also expectation. So what this is telling you is there's an expectation either upon you or from you towards something, this situation or someone else that could be linked into this situation. But it's telling you you've got to change, like, your expectation around the way you feel you should be either like reacting to a situation or be receiving, okay? Because until you change your expectation, it's going to kind of stay the same. So it's like a big lesson from your angels. They're trying to get you to sort of step up and look at something in a different perspective for you. There is a mature man, okay, which is the other card that fell out when I went to pull you a third card. Now, this can represent either a mature man in your life who's alive, or it could represent in spirit. I felt this mature man is in spirit. I feel possibly grandfather energy coming in for you, who is around, who wants to support you and who wants to help you with this situation that's going forward for you. I'm really drawn back to the first card here, and when I look at the cards, like each time I read, I see different things, but I'm suddenly noticed that it says not hiring there. Not sure if you can see, but it says not hiring in the background. And there's also people in the background through the window sort of stood there like staring. So it's almost like there's been something that's made you feel like on the spot or like highlighted, possibly in a negative way. The not hiring could also represent that there is like feelings around a job, or feelings around like unhappiness of something that you're not necessarily wanting to do anymore, and you're wanting to change it within your working situation. But there is support from your loved ones, but you need to change the way you are perceiving your life or a situation in your life at the moment. And trust me, as soon as you change the way you perceive it, it's going to change very quickly for the positive. So I hope that that's made sense to you. I'm not getting any confirmation back, so I'm not sure if that's made sense, but please do still come and let me know. I'd love to hear. So I will move on now because I can't see any response. So guys, please do respond. When I'm reading for you, please do respond. Even if it's not making sense, it's okay to say, no, I'm not sure, because it helps me to know what sort of like what's resonating with you, or that you're still there. Oh, okay, I've just got a response. Yes, 100%. Okay, cool. So that's good, as long as it makes sense. But as I said, if it doesn't, don't be shy to say, I'm not going to be offended. Because, you know, it just helps me to sort of gauge, okay, it's not making sense to you. I just need to tap in a bit more and see how I can word it so it does make sense. You are truly amazing. Oh, thank you. That's really sweet. Thank you very much. Okay, so please do stay and continue to join in. Let's now have the comments coming up for the numbers. So for anyone who's just joined, I would like you to put either number 1 for a fortune telling card, number 2 for the happy family card. Okay, and we'll see. Let's do Graham Boyd then, because I just saw a number 2, and it'll be cool to do the happy family cards. So if we go back to Graham Boyd, let me know, Graham, if you're still here. Okay, I think Richard does monitor how quickly they come in. Oh, this literally just flew out. I'm just going to pull another one as well. Oh, okay. Okay, so you're still here. Okay, cool. So the first one that flew out as I was shuffling them for you, Graham, is Mrs. Shrew there. Oh, move it there. Okay, so Mrs. Shrew, and straight away what I got from this was I actually felt like a grandmother suddenly step in because she actually makes me think of, you know, a lovely little grandmother having her cups of tea, you know, nice and cozy, nice and comforting. Okay, with this lady in spirit who I felt stepping in as a grandmotherly energy, I'm getting a really bad knee as she comes in. So I definitely feel that she had struggle walking through part of her life. She's also making me feel like she was quite slim as well. You know, she wasn't too much of a curvy lady. She was quite slim, and she's also bringing up like quite a big dog. Like, now I need to scrub up on my dog breeds, but she's making me aware that she would go out and walk this big dog, and this dog looks like more sort of like light to tan coloured. But I feel like because of her size, the dog seems quite big compared to her. Whereas if you had like a big man, you know, the dog wouldn't seem as big. But she's making me aware of this, and she's showing me like lots of sort of like fields and like almost like where she would walk along sort of like farmland, maybe not her farmland, but this is where she would sort of walk in the rural areas with this dog. I'm not sure if this is making sense to you, but let me know. But the other card that also came out for you is Master Mouse here, okay? And what this card represents is the mouse. So obviously you've got the Master, which is younger, and then you've got Mister in this deck, which is obviously the older. But so the Master is bringing in the energy of young, and the mouse is bringing in the energy and the message of make sure you are looking at the smaller things in life, okay? Because the spiritual symbolism of the mouse represents the smaller things in life, but actually can be the really, really important big things in the end. So it's like kind of saying, don't sweat the small stuff, but don't like disconnect the small stuff either, because it's in like the smaller sort of like snippets of life that you get those lovely diamonds coming in that actually lead the way or help you to actually sort of understand, oh, okay, that's actually really important. I've got to do that. So it's kind of bringing you the message of just pulling it back to sort of basics for you at the moment. Like there's been overwhelmment in your life. Like I feel like maybe work or people have been quite like demanding, or there's been sort of like quite sort of dominating energies around that you've been feeling like overwhelmed with. And it's like, pull it back to basics and just do things that, you know, don't really like have to have like pressure on, or have to have like a date or a target to get something done by. So maybe that's why this lady was coming in and just showing me her walking, because I was really getting this essence that she was really enjoying that. And it's like she wants you to actually, you know, take that time to just really go out and like, you know, reconnect yourself and bring yourself back to basics and back to your heart. Does that make sense? I just feel like there's all this overwhelmment around you at the moment. But it's very interesting how both of these cards also have a pot of tea in them. So made me think of tea leaves, like tea leaf readings. Do you know if there was anyone in your ancestry who read leaves? Because I'm getting that sense coming in. Let me know, or if you don't know, go find out. But if that doesn't resonate, go and Google the spiritual symbolism of a teacup. Every single thing has a spiritual meaning to it. So I like to get on Google, and then I get all this stuff in my brain, and then I pull it out of my knowledgeable spiritual dictionary that I save all of these meanings in at the right points when I need them. Okay. But honestly, if you go and research the spiritual symbolism of things, it will shock you how spot on it is. There are signs in absolutely everything. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. I'm going to move on now because I can't see your responses. So, and we will do a few more. That's okay. Maybe go and find out. Maybe go and find out from, say, like parents or loved ones, because guaranteed someone read tea leaves. I felt that very strongly. But obviously, you know, sometimes we don't always get clarification right there and then. Sometimes it's been months before I've got clarification on something, you know, that I've been picking up from loved ones. And then suddenly, bam, there's a photo, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's that person, you know? So there's always a reason why these messages come through, even if we don't understand them straight away. So thank you for joining. So I'm going to move on to someone else now, and let's just see the comments coming through. And guys, yeah, please do keep your comments coming. Keep those sunflower emojis coming as well. Oh, we've got a sunflower one. So let's do Hallie's house with number 2, because I just saw the sunflower, as I said, the sunflower emoji, and she's put a lovely rainbow there as well. So you're on YouTube. So Hallie's house, let me know if you're still there so I can read for you. So I'm not sure. I'm going to pull a card anyway. So hopefully you're still there. Ooh. Are you still there? I hope that you're still there because your cards have come out. Can you see if she's still there, Richard? Can you see any more comments, or shall I read anyway, just in case, Richard? Or okay, I'll start reading anyway. Okay, so Hallie's house, what you've got is you've got Master Squirrel here. So remember what I said? I said Master is the young energy. So when we get a young energy coming in, this can represent like something new on the way to you, or something that's percolating at the moment, or something that you've just sort of set up or created. The reason why I'm saying just set up or created is because the Master Squirrel is, oh, you're still there, okay, cool. So the Master Squirrel is all about like so the squirrel collects their acorns and their nuts, and they sort of store them away for when it's the right time or when they need it. Okay, so it's about collecting and gathering the things that you need to then see you through or see you forward to the next sort of period of time to which it's needed to be. So this is also going to support you in creation mode and creating something new, starting something new. Okay, so that's what that's very much about. You've got like a new project or a new idea that's been percolating, and it's saying that now is the best time to crack open that nut, obviously crack open that idea, let it unfold, and really get into creation mode. You know, obviously we've just kind of like moved out of spring, and spring is very much about all those new beginnings and things like that coming in, and you've got the Master energy there with the new as well. So you've got that one, and then the other card that came out is Mrs. Fox. So remember I said the Mr. and Mrs. they're up above the Master and Mistress, so they are an older energy, or could represent an older person in your life. And the fox, so is all about like kind of like, it's hard to say because it's hard to say without sounding offensive, but the fox is all to do with sort of like enemies or people that we feel have been negative in our life or feel have held us back. So when you've got Mrs. Fox, this is representing an older female, definitely feminine energy, not in spirit. They are still alive around you, who has possibly like dragged you down, or possibly put you down, possibly held you back, possibly like made you feel, you know, a bit rubbish from time to time, and it's caused a few issues or some clashes, whether they're in your family or in like a working situation, an old like friend, or maybe linked to in-laws. However they're placed, there is someone there in your life that has been like that. Okay, so again, this has come in around the new ideas, the new projects coming in for you. So it could represent that there is someone that doesn't support your ideas or support your projects. Or it could represent that that new energy is going to kind of almost blow out the energy of someone who's been negative around you, because actually you feel so motivated about it that, you know, that it just pushes them out of alignment so much with you that you just don't care anymore about like their comments or their opinions. Does that make sense? I just saw a couple of comments go by, but I didn't manage to catch them, Richard, but I think it was some clarification. Yes, exactly that. I've been building up my creations. Okay, cool. Thank you for that clarity. To sell online and at markets. Ah, okay. Cool. That's really, really cool. Well, it's the perfect time. It's the perfect time. It's a really positive energy around you. Let me know what you think about the Mrs. Fox, because that was really interesting. But I feel like, you know, you're going to do fine. Whoever's being negative around you, you know, this whole new creation thing that you're doing, it's literally going to take you so much far out away from people's negativity that you're just not going to care, and it's just not going to impact you anymore. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to you, and thank you so much for joining in. So guys, if there's anyone new who's tuned in, I'm just doing some little readings at the moment. from my Happy Woodland deck and from my fortune telling deck. So I'm asking people to put number 1 if you want a fortune telling card, and number 2 if you want a Happy Woodland deck. So let me know in the comments. Oh, that just came out when I saw that girl's name. But I forgot her name. Her name was Rebecca. And a card, when I read her name in my mind, a card just flew out. Yeah, that's her. Rebecca Whelan, are you there? Number 2. This card just flew out for you. So let me know if you're still there. Okay, cool. So you had Mr. Frog fly out. He's like dancing, he's quirky. Yeah, he's like Elvis, Richard said. So okay, so this, I love this card. Okay, so obviously Mr., this is an older energy, but I don't feel like this is an older person around you, and I don't feel like this is spirit around you. I feel like this is representing you, Rebecca, and what this is telling you is it's all about taking a leap of faith. Okay, you must take that leap of faith, because when you do, like, you are going to reach somewhere. Oh, you love him. I know, he's cute, isn't he? You are going to really reach a goal or reach a new destination to which is really important for you around something that you're really desiring to do. The fact that it's got like water and stuff like that, obviously frogs are linked to water, but water can represent like your emotions, but the water behind is actually very calm. So this is also telling you that when you take this leap of faith, you know, the waters will be calm for you. So it will actually be, you know, a positive experience when you go forward. But sometimes when we look at things that we want to do or that we have to do or that we're desiring to do, it can feel quite scary. So I think this is a really good confirmation for you that actually you don't have to be scared. Like, it may seem like this taking a leap of faith is a risk, but ultimately it's going to be really positive for you and set the way for a new way with regards to something in your life. You know, he's ready to go. He's got his bag. He's ready to go on a journey. So it's about taking the leap of faith and seeing where the journey takes you. Does this make sense? It's really positive, and I feel very spiritual as well. Like, as I'm talking to you, like, there's a really lovely spiritual energy around you. I feel like you need to delve into your spiritual side more. I feel like there's definitely things that you can tap in and tune in there with regards to your spiritual senses. And I also want to say about you, like, sort of doing readings and stuff like that. Maybe you've had thoughts about wanting to do that. Maybe you should try it if you're not doing it already, because I actually think you would be a very good energy reader. Okay, so even if, whether it's for people or just for yourself, like, just make sure you're reading the energy and that it's not your fear and your insecurity. Okay, yes, that makes complete sense. Okay, cool. Because guys, sometimes when we yeah, you're interested in mediumship. Okay, cool. That's what I felt like. It was like definitely something like that going on. So it's like, take the leap of faith with that, okay, and definitely explore it, because that's what your angels will be pulling in at you to start unfolding. But guys, like, you know, it's important to, like, sort of really be aware of our energy and understand, like, what's our energy and what's not, what's just an insecurity that's just in the way. So definitely take that leap of faith. Thank you so much for confirming. And if you need any help with mediumship training, please do come and find me, because I do actually train people in mediumship and help people with that. So that's for Rebecca, and for anyone else who is interested. I do have some various mediumship things going on at the moment, and it's my utmost favourite thing. I love teaching mediumship and I love talking about mediumship. I hope that was okay to say, Richard. Oh, thank you, Richard. Yeah, Richard's put my Facebook page on there. So if any of you want to go and check me out, please do. You're very welcome. Okay, so let's do a number 1 now. We need to do a fortune telling deck. And let me know if you like these cards as well, because I like them. They're fun. And it's like, it's just a little bit different, isn't it? Because we do tarot so often. Not that there's anything wrong with tarot. I absolutely love tarot. Let's do Andrea 54 for the number 1. Let's pull you a card. Let's see what comes out for you. Let's pull. Okay. You have to pull quite a few of these ones. Oh, because they're a little bit, they're just all flying out for you. Andrea, they're like all flying out for you. Okay, so quite a few have come out here. So let's just get these all the right way around so I can see them. Right, okay. So you have adjudication here, okay, come up. So what this represents is, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to court or anything like that. But what it represents is a situation in your life that has really been pressing forward, and it's been tangling up, and it's been going on for quite a while, whether it's actually a physical situation or a situation in your mind. It has been going on for quite some time, to the point where it's got very frustrating, very annoying, and very sort of like, oh, I can't see a way forward. I almost feel like I've got a blindfold on because this has got in the way so much. It could involve other people, or as I said, it could very much be in your mind. But what this is also representing is, it's getting to a point where it's going to be like the hammer goes down, the decision is made, and that is final, and then you move forward and it becomes more positive. So very, very soon in your life, Andrea, there's going to be a decision that you're going to be making, or that is made around you, whether it's you or someone else making this decision, that is going to be the final draw, and it is like cut, and then you can move forward. You're going to feel more free, you're going to feel more positive, you're going to feel a lot more understanding of why, like, you had to go through something that you went through, because it's going to be suddenly making sense to you. Okay, so you then have the official person come in. So what this can represent as well is, it's representing the energy of something that is like, you know, more of like, it represents, like, if it's a person, it represents someone that obviously has a lot of sort of like kind of power or structure, or, you know, regime in their life, but someone who is also very respected. And if it's not a person and a situation, it's about, you know, having more structure, having more regime, but also having that power to back up this new choice that is coming in for you. Okay, so it's bringing a new energy. You then also got high honor come out of the deck as well, which is interesting because it's obviously next to the official person. But what this is telling you is that from that big decision that is finally like, bosh, I'm making this choice no matter what, even if it seems like it's a hard decision, it's actually telling you that ultimately there's going to be a really good outcome from it, because you get the high honor. So again, this is about like respect. It's about like, you know, being recognized. It's about being known for what you do, for who you are, or for the situation that arose. And now there is the new energies coming in. So there is lots of high honor energy coming around you. Now, this will be a little while off because you're at this bit and this is needing to take place. But trust me, even though this may seem hard, it will be a very good outcome in the end. I hope that that makes sense. Sometimes with this deck, you need to... oh, what's happened? I've just pulled something up on my page. You need to pull a few because you need sort of cards next to it to understand the message more. Let me know if that's made sense. And then in the meantime, whilst I'm waiting for your response, I will do another reading. So I did say I was going to do like a bit of teaching, but I'm quite enjoying doing the readings at the moment. So I've got to stick with what's the flow is and what the vibe is. But hopefully you guys are enjoying. So Richard's just showing me more of the names. More people's names coming up. So I was drawn to, okay, cool, it makes sense. Thank you, Andrea. Oh, I can't see that lady's name now. So what was the one before that, Richard? Okay, don't worry. Okay, let's do, oh gosh, I'm really drawn to this girl. Natalie Bentley, are you still there? I'm just going to have a glug of my tea for a moment. Right, number 2. Let's get this deck out. Oh, the cards like are flying out tonight, guys. So you've got number 2. I love it when I look at the cards because I see different things every time. Oh, this is interesting. It's similar to that other person. You've got Miss Squirrel, okay, and that other person had Master Squirrel, and you've got Miss Fox, and that other person had Mrs. Fox. So, Natalie, let me know if you're still here. Let's start with this. So you got Miss Squirrel. So remember I said this is like a young energy, okay? So it can either represent a young person in your life or it can represent a young energy or something new, okay? With Miss Squirrel, if you see she's holding like a little doll or a little baby. I was just double checking that it wasn't like a little baby squirrel, but it's like a little doll. And what this is representing is it's representing like that young, innocent, playful energy, okay? And it's basically giving you a message. So remember that obviously the squirrel, the ultimate message of the squirrel is about collecting and, you know, obviously the things that you need to look after yourself. But with this, because this is the young, it's also about remembering to be playful and remembering to be like have that innocent energy coming in, okay? Maybe you've got a young person or a young child around you that's making you feel that young energy, or maybe it's actually a call from your angels to just get you to just get back into a more playful zone because maybe things got too serious for a while in your life. And then the Miss Fox, which is also a young energy again. But again, the fox is all to do with sort of like enemies or negatives, things that are holding you back, people that are holding you back. But it can also represent, because it's young, it can represent like, you know, someone sort of being quite like snidey or potentially a little bit two-faced, maybe a little bit sly, maybe there's been some bullying going on with like a young person in your family, something like that. So this, no, but need to get fun back. Yeah, okay, so again, if there's not linked to young people in your life, then this could very well be linked to potentially like someone who might not have your best you know, motives, ulterior motives, and they may not have your best interests at heart. This is something that is just giving you a message to just be aware of, like the people that you're hanging around with, the people that you're sharing stuff with, the people that you're confiding in with. If you feel just the slightest bit uncomfortable around someone, make sure you really take note of that, because that's your angels giving you the message that this person can't be trusted. And it's not you being sensitive, it is actually you being empathic and picking up on energy that you don't like, but potentially getting mixed up thinking that you're just being sensitive, okay? So it's a message from your angels for that, but it's also a message for them to tell you things got too serious and that actually you just need to bring some playfulness and some fun back into your life, a bit like what they said to the other chap about, you know, just bringing things back to basics and just not having as much things going on in your life. Just pull it back so you can just relax and just have fun. I just feel like stuff got too serious for you. So try and find things that you can do that you really enjoy, or maybe it's the time to really start that thing that you've always wanted to do, that you've been either too shy to do or too busy to do, okay? Don't worry if you don't know who that is, it might become clear, okay? But it's just like kind of saying to you that, you know, just be mindful and aware of, you know, the people around you. And if you do feel a bit like uncomfortable around someone, just be aware of that, okay? Hopefully that's made sense. Let's go back to, I'll keep my eye out for that. Yes to fun, yes to serious. Oh, bless you. Oh, bless you. Okay, cool. So let's have the names come up again. And guys, let me know if you're enjoying these cards. Okay, so guys, if you would like to share out as well, actually what I'm going to do is if you share now and Rich will tell me who shared, I will read for someone who has shared. because I meant to say that at the start. Share because you care, because it really helps to get, obviously, get Spiritual Psychics TV out there, and it helps us mediums and psychics as well to obviously, showcase our skill set and what we do. So we always share because we care. And oh, okay. I'm being told the names of people who have shared. So it's not too many people. So I'm going to pick someone who's already shared. And then if you guys share out now, share to various different pages that you feel would respect and appreciate this page and live. Obviously, don't share it to some car place, where it's not necessarily going to be, the thing that they do. So whilst I'm waiting for some other shares to come in, I'm going to read someone that has shared, which is Kathy Noel, and she has picked number 1. So let me know if you're still there. And yeah, we really, really appreciate you guys sharing. Thank you so much. And Kathy's always also put lovely sunflowers and sunshine emojis on there as well. So number 1 from Fortune Telling Deck. Okay, so let's see what cards are coming out for you here. Okay. Okay, so a few I've pulled out for you. This is interesting because you've also got the despair card here as well. It's horrible when this card comes out because it is so like, oh, what's going on there? However, so you've got the despair card. So that represents that there's been something again for you that you've been feeling struggling with, and that you've been feeling you're not getting further with or holding you back. However, this period of time is finishing soon because you have sudden wealth come in. Okay, so with this sudden wealth card, it's important to also know that it's not necessarily going to be like sudden money come in. Yes, we would 100% love that, all of us would, but sudden wealth and wealth can represent like an abundance of all areas. Okay, but the important thing to be aware of here is the sudden. So from something that you've been feeling stuck around, there is a sudden change or a sudden shift coming in. Okay, there's 7s in the middle there, and there's 3 7s. 7 represents positive resolution. So positive resolution suddenly coming in from the thing that's been holding you back. Okay, bringing an abundance of, lots of different better feelings around, which could also integrate into, yes, your finances. There's 3 7s. So number 3 represents new beginnings, and it also represents your soul purpose. So it's very much kicking you into a purpose of yours that you've really been feeling drawn to or on your way to. But it also amounts up to 21. So please do Google the angel number 21 to see what that message is as well. And you've got the number 11 as well. So 1 represents a new portal of energy opening up for you. So when you see like 1111, like that, it all represents the same the same thing. So again, that fits in with the 3 of the new beginnings coming in. Okay, so there is a sudden change coming in very soon. It takes you on a journey because you've got the journey card there. You've got the train in the journey card. So the train represents like the speed. So again, it's fitting in with the sudden. So you find yourself on this new journey, which is your purpose path. So when you hit your purpose path, things start to get into flow, things slot into place. You suddenly have a lot more intuition. You feel a lot more clarity around the things that you're doing, and it just seems to be like flow for you. Another thing that is here is, if you see, there is a couple stood at the back there. So this also represents a relationship there. It's on the, I know to you it looks different, but if I'm reading it like this, it's on the right side of the card, just to the middle up a bit. So when I read cards, anything on the right represents the future. And if it's more in the middle or up to the right, it just means a bit further off into the future. Whereas if it was down at the bottom right corner, it would mean that it's coming in more soon. but there is a relationship here. Now, this could be a relationship that you're in at the moment, or it could be a new relationship, but no matter what, it's telling you that through this journey, there is a positive relationship to be had here, that you can go along and be in this relationship going forward. But this journey is also taking you into community. So your purpose is also going to be fitting in around community. So you're going to end up being of service in some way to the community, helping them, guiding them, teaching them, healing them, you know, however it is fitting in for you. But it is very much surrounded around community. But this journey, it's not just sort of like travel. It can represent like the journey inwards of, you know, where your soul's taking you and how your life is unfolding. So yeah, you're coming out of the darkness, girly, and you're definitely going to have quite a sudden shift very soon. So I hope that that makes sense and that sounds very exciting for you. That's what you get for sharing. So is there any other sharers? Let me know, Kathy, if that any of that made sense. And Richard, is there any other sharers? Yeah, that's no problem, Kathy. Oh, cool. So we've got a lot more shares coming now. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate that. So Julie Ramsden, you shared, but I'm not sure what number you want. What number card would you want? Would you? Oh, number 2. Okay, that's funny because I got the number 2s in my hand. Okay, Julie Ramsden, thank you so much for sharing. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pull you a card and see what card comes out for you. These cards are like flipping everywhere tonight. Right. Oh gosh, like let me just get them all straight because they're just all over the place tonight. Right. So, okay, let's do this. Right. So you've got Master Fox here. Okay, so remember, this is a young energy. This is a new energy coming in. But what the Master Fox is this is either someone or an energy around you that's like very sort of cheeky and mischievous, can be a little bit naughty, but actually it's a bit more playful, a bit more fun, but it's like that mischievous, cheeky streak. Okay, so this can bode you well, but also sometimes it can get you into trouble. So if this is like the energy that's around you, that's what that is, or it could represent someone who is similar to that around you, that is potentially got into a bit of trouble or causing a little bit of trouble, but ultimately they will grow out of that. But it's just this like mischievous energy. Then what you've got is you've got the Master Frog. So you've got 2 masters here. So remember, this is the young energy. So remember what I said about the frog is taking a leap of faith, but this is like something like a new energy coming in where it's something that you might not be aware of yet, but when it comes in, you need to take a leap of faith and you need to put your trust in this because it ultimately will take you to the next steps that you need. But I get the sense that something is coming to a bit of an end with a cycle or a period in your life, and there's a new essence coming in which is totally different. Like, I feel like I need to say to you that you were possibly doing something like maybe with work or with work, and it feels like you've been doing it for quite a chunk of time, and for quite some time you've sort of been having these subtle thoughts of, oh, I'd really like to do that, I'd really like to be that, I'd like to work in that, and it's really different to what you were doing and have been doing for quite some time, and you're sort of questioning, why am I thinking this way? Why would I want to do that? You know, that's very different. But what it's kind of saying to you is, it's like, bring it back down to that innocence again of that new and that young. Like, you know, when you're young and you just say yes to things, like your angels there's a maternal link coming in. So a lady who's giving me a really maternal energy, and she's basically coming in to say, like, be like that young person again, where you just say yes Say yes to things. You don't have to hold back anymore, Julie. Like, now is the time. It's your time. That's what I'm getting. This maternal link, she's giving me heart pains. So she's making me aware of possibly a heart attack or heart condition that she had when she was alive. But she's a really lovely lady, very loving energy, but she's quite funny as well. So she's making me aware that you know, you and her would have had a right little laugh and a good knees up when she was alive. And I wanted to say knees up, so I definitely feel like, you know, you would have liked to have a little bit of a tipple with each other and things like that. She's also making me feel very woozy in my head and my eyes as well. So she makes me kind of aware that, you know, in later life, she was very sort of like dozy, and, you know, I kind of almost feel like if I went to sleep and then I wouldn't wake back up. So this is kind of like the energy that she's given me for you. And she's maternal energy that she's giving to you. This other card also came out, which is Miss Hedgehog. Okay, so again, it's the young. You've got all young energy here, and the hedgehog is obviously the hedgehog puts their spikes up when they're feeling a bit threatened. Okay, but if you look into the card, the little hedgehog, she's about to put her hand out onto the cactus, and it's a bit like, oh, is she going to spike herself? So again, this is about like taking risks. So you've got the mischievous energy. Okay, the mischievous cheeky energy in the fox. You've got the taking a leap of faith for something new in the frog, and then you've got the taking a risk by touching the cactus. But what it's telling you is you can take this risk because the spikes are protecting you. Okay, but they're kind of saying to you to put those spikes down, like they were saying, say yes to things. Now is your time. You've given too much of your time to other people. It's time for you now. I hope that makes sense. I'm not seeing any responses. So, pardon? Yeah, so if I don't see any responses, I won't continue, but I hope that makes sense. And please do respond later if you would like to. Okay, so, pardon, Richard? So we're going to go to adverts for a moment. So I will be back in a minute.
MySpiritualDirectory.com is one of the fastest growing online free listing service. Our search directory offers geolocation feature, rating ability, review system, map location, customer comment, YouTube video, gallery, social media sharing, direct contact with the lister, simple online booking and payment system. It's free to register and use. It even creates your own mini web page, which you can update at any time, and yes, it's still free, no monthly or yearly fees. 100% free. Creates your own profile page. Add social media and other links. Add a mini gallery and a YouTube video. Rating, reviews and comments. Includes online booking and payments. So, if you're looking for a medium or a reader, even a church, maybe a healer, or any other spiritual service, then visit myspiritualdirectory.com.
Tomorrow night from 8 p.m., our popular show, Live with Spirit, offers the opportunity for different readers each week to demonstrate their psychic and mediumship abilities.
Hello. Okay, so that's what's coming up on the show. So please do tune into those and show your support. We really appreciate it. And as always, please do share these out. Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys to do something else for me now, because I like to get you guys to do a little bit of work. If you want reading, you've got to do some work for me. So what I would also now like you to do is I would like you to tag a friend or a loved one into this live who might potentially be free to just suddenly join in. And when you have tagged someone, I am going to get Richard to tell me if you've tagged someone, and then I'm going to pick someone who has tagged someone. And the reason why is just so we can get some people, more people joining in and more people aware of Spiritual Psychics TV. So tag away. Obviously, if you're on YouTube, you can't tag. So just keep sending sunflower emojis, and that is absolutely fine. I may pick you. But Facebookers, if you're on Facebook, please do get your tagging fingers on the go. So if you put if you don't know how to tag, if you put I'm trying to do that and then their name should come up. Okay, so Lacey Lawrence, I see that you've tagged, so thank you so much for tagging. I'm going to read for you. Richard's just going to find your number for me. Okay, so you have picked number 1, so let's just give these a bit of a shuffle. So Lacey, I like that name, Lacey Lawrence. Right, let's see what's coming up here. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Let's get another card to go with that one. Yeah, these fortune telling deck, it's like quite to the point. Gosh, I've got such hiccups tonight. Maybe it's like my pasta salad. Maybe it's not agreeing with me. Okay, so this is interesting. You have, Lacey, the first one that came up is false person, okay? And it's in the number 8. So number 8 in this deck are all to do with like bonds, okay? So people that you have a bond with. So this false person or energy around this person is actually telling you that this is someone that, you know, maybe was in your life and it isn't now, or is still in your life, but there's someone that you're sort of feeling like, oh, can you trust them? Maybe there's been a bit of a disconnect between you and another person. Maybe you feel like you're growing apart from this person, but it's just highlighting to you that there's an energy around someone at the moment that isn't sitting well with you, that isn't feeling right, okay? It is next to the occupation card, so it could also be linked into working situations, okay? However, if you just separate these two cards for a moment and focus just on the occupation card for a minute, this is actually a really positive card on its own, because what it represents is, if you see, she's working on her sewing machine, so it's talking about creating, and then when she finishes, she has a finished finished product that she, get my words out, that she's really happy with, and that is beautiful, okay? However, she's got to straighten a few things out along the way. There may be mistakes made, but she needs to straighten them, and it will be really good at the end. So occupation card fits in heavily around sort of self-employed people, or people who have, you know, a lot more responsibility within an employed sort of status. So it's talking about like flexibility, or having more flexibility coming in within your career, within your working environment, okay? So keep that focused with regards to the creating, you know, finishing a brilliant project or product here. And then Great Fortune came out. Now, this is one of the best money cards you can get in this deck, but it's also, again, very, very abundant. So it's not just to do with money. It can also be to do with like lots of areas in your life really coming together and feeling very on point, okay? Really good energy working throughout. The Great Fortune card can also represent property, so it's also bringing in the essence of, you know, possibly you're thinking about moving, and you're possibly thinking about upgrading to a bigger property or a better type of property that's more suited to you. It could also represent about moving abroad. Yes, agree. I'm not working at the moment, been searching for over a year, but I have done creative work from home. Okay, awesome. So this can also represent moving abroad or buying property abroad, but it's very much about time freedom. Okay, so that financial freedom and time freedom. So I think what it's telling you is, through the occupation that you find yourself in, even though you're not working at the moment, you will have one soon. You are going to have financial freedom and time freedom. Now, this is now drawing me back to the false person card, because this card, now reading those two cards, could also represent some feelings that you've been having about things that don't feel right, and almost like, I don't mean this rudely, but almost sort of like lying to yourself or not being honest with yourself. Like, it's kind of giving me the message of, be really honest with yourself. Like, what do you truly want? What do you truly want, and how do you want to be, and how do you want to get it? okay? And this is within your working situation. So it could also represent like that energy of just needing to be really authentic and true to your heart and listen to your heart now. Okay, if something doesn't feel right, even if you haven't got a job, don't just search for anything. It's got to be right for you, okay? You will find it and it's going to be really good, okay? Let me know if you've had thoughts of like moving house as well, because this is definitely moving house and that great fortune as well. So that's your card. Thank you so much for tagging. We really appreciate it. And I hope that that makes sense. So Richard, would you like to show me some other comments, please? Yeah, we have just moved away for 1 year ago. Gosh, I need to get my words out. Away from all family and friends, been in a bit of a hole, but the whole move and being out of work, etc. Yeah, okay. So that makes sense. And that false person card, it can really represent like, you know, that just like sort of that starting to get really authentic with yourself and your heart now. And what do you really need and what do you really want? I have to say, since I've been reading for you lately, I've been struggling to get my words out quite a lot. I feel like I'm slurring. I feel like it's slow. It may not like seem to you, but this is making me aware of a female in spirit who potentially had a stroke and couldn't speak, couldn't get her words out. Maybe after the stroke, maybe you know, she couldn't speak at all or was very slow speaking, something like that. Sometimes depending on the level of the stroke will depend on, you know, the outcome for the person. But yeah, I'm aware of this female. I can feel it all down my side with this stroke energy. I'm getting sort of like a great auntie sort of vibe coming in. Oh, you had a mini stroke a few weeks ago and lost your speech. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's you. Wow, okay. That's probably why I was like, well, I can't speak. Can you take this lady? Can you take a female, an older female, great auntie, linked to your grandmother on your maternal side? So on your mum's side, grandma on your mum's side, there's a great auntie linked to her, and she possibly had a stroke too, or maybe the stroke thing was what I was picking up from you. But there's an older female connecting in who very much was wanting to be around you. So let me know. But yeah, I was really struggling to speak as that was coming through then. So let me know about these comments. Richard, if you see any of them coming in. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for like spending time with me. I hope that you're enjoying this. Just seeing the pictures and names of people coming in. Gosh, whoever I've because I'm seeing names flashing up, and whoever's names, someone here has a bad leg, because the bottom of my leg, as I've been reading these names, has started to really like be like, you know, when you get cramp, it's like a cramp feeling in the bottom of my leg, but I feel like it's like not just someone dealing with cramp. I feel like it's like the cramp feeling all the time in someone's leg. Is there anyone watching who has that? And is that you, Richard? Can people hear that right now? Oh, you should have put it on so they could hear what you just said, because that's really funny. Shall I tell them what you just said? Richard said it might be him because he's had to go out and buy like a roller because his leg's been really hurting. Oh dear. But yeah, like I'm feeling it on the left leg. The left leg is really painful. Could you just go back to Lacey's comment, because I didn't get a chance to read that? Possibly, I would have to double check, as my nan and granddad were only children. Yeah, so I was kind of feeling like it was sort of, you know, up a little ways in the ancestry. But yeah, please go and check, because yeah, I'm hearing the name Margaret as well. So check with your parents and see if she's placed anywhere. Sandra E, metal plate in my leg tingles with the weather. Yeah, is it like cramp feeling? Because it's like, yeah, like a cramp feeling. I was having cramp in my left foot all weekend, couldn't walk. Oh, do you know what? Like cramp is like, oh my gosh, so painful, isn't it? Especially when it happens in the night and it's so shocking because you can't even like stretch your leg. You've got to straighten your leg, haven't you? But you can't even straighten your leg because it just hurts so much. So Dee Dee, thank you so much for joining in. We really appreciate that because I think you were someone that was tagged. So yeah, so what we're doing is we're doing little readings, and we've got number 2 for the Happy Woodlands deck and number 1 for the fortune telling deck. So if you would like a reading, there might still be a chance to get one. So please do either choose 1 or 2. Sandra E, you got tight muscles all the time. Yeah, like, okay, so let's just vibe into Sandra E for a moment because you've been having some leg issues and things like that. Sandra, there's a man stepping forward who is in spirit, and he's coming forward. Let me just see if he wants to show what he looks like. Oh, as he's come through, my teeth on the right side, I've just suddenly started to get this pain, like, but it's not like the jaw, it's like in my teeth and my gums. And I feel that this man, I mean, he's either given me this because maybe you're experiencing this or he experienced this, but it's like, I kind of like just feel like, you know, like maybe there was false teeth as well, because I feel like I've got something in my mouth like that feels, you know, that just sounds so dodgy. It feels like there's something in my mouth that shouldn't be in my mouth. I'm so sorry, Richard. That sounds so dodgy right now. Obviously, I've got a rude brain then, haven't I? Hopefully, some other people watching have rude brain too, and it's not just me. But with this man, I feel like this man in spirit is laughing. It's like he's cheeky too, you know. Maybe it was him making me speak like that, making me think that, you know, because he's cheeky. But yeah, false teeth, and I feel like he's complaining about his false teeth, and like he didn't like the false teeth. He's definitely older than you. I want to place him in his like 80s when he passed. I'm kind of getting 83, 84. Let me know if this makes sense to you. And I'm seeing him sort of like balding here around this bit, and then there's like white sort of wispy hair still around here, but obviously this was sort of like near, like, you know, the latter part of his life. That's what his hair was like. Okay, let me know if this makes sense, because he's just popped in for you to say hello. My eyes have also changed eyesight, so he definitely had eyesight issues as well, more so in the left eye. There was cataract. He's talking to me about cataracts. He possibly had to have cataracts. Let me know, Sandra. I can't see any of your comments. And I feel really quite sick with him as well. Like, I feel like I need to be sick actually as he's coming through. So he's making me aware that he did have quite a few different health issues when he was alive, but it's all in my chest, and it's starting in my stomach and coming up my chest. It's making me feel really nauseous. He had a clip-on tooth that he kept being worried carers were going to knock out. Oh, bless him. Was he quite cheeky though? Could he have a laugh? Because I felt like he was like quite cheeky and had a laugh. You think he could be a grandfather? We had a time he thought he had lost his teeth. Oh, bless. He's really going on about his teeth. It was really sweet, bless him. But I know what it's like when, you know, you get older and you get attached to these things, don't you? And it just felt like he was very attached to needing to have, you know, his things in place and the things that he's used to and the things that he wants. But he's a lovely man, but he was just coming through. So let me just say what he wants to say, see what he wants to say to you. And let me know if you can take like the nausea and the stomach sickiness going into the chest. Let me see. So I am hearing the name Harold as well, but what I actually heard was the words, "I'm here with Harold." That's what I heard. So I'm not sure if you know Harry or Harold, but he was saying that he is here with Harold. And I'm also hearing Gertie. I'm hearing the word Gertie or the name Gertie, which could be short for Gertrude. What do you want to say? He keeps saying the word recipe. Keeps saying the word recipe to you, Sandra. It's like he's saying he wants to give you a recipe, but it's not necessarily the sense in a recipe for like cakes or for like cooking. That sounds more like my partner than my granddad. Right, okay. It's like what's this recipe thing about? Because I keep hearing the words recipe for disaster, but it's not in like a nasty way. It's in like a jokey way. So it wasn't recipe for like a cake or for cooking, recipe for disaster, but he's laughing. So is he representing like himself, as in like how his behavior and his attitude was, or is he making a joke over you, Sandra, and sort of saying, because I feel like there's quite a bit of banter here, and that there would have been banter between you and him, and that he would have like take the mick out of you, but it was always in a loving way. Does that make sense to you? Let me know. He's given me the number 2 as well. 2 seems to be really important. So 2 could resonate with the month. It can resonate with passing over, anniversary, birthday. But the number 2 just feels really significant. And don't worry if you can't take the names, because the names could be linked in further down the line and you can always find that out. But always ask. Let me know if that makes sense to you. But yeah, there's lots of love from this man, and he's very fun. But I would say the grandfather is the teeth, and this now is your partner. So there's 2 different ones speaking. We talked about a friend being a recipe for disaster. Yeah, because it is literally like those words he clearly said. So is this friend okay at the moment? Oh, sorry, I know I shouldn't ask questions, but I just kind of wanted to say, like, you know, are you aware of anything that's going on with this friend? Are they still sort of in a place where, okay, he died the 18th of Feb, thank you. I felt February was quite strong. Are you aware of something going on with this friend? But he's just wanting to bring around this energy around this recipe of disaster, but it's like in a jokey way. We were always laughing. Yeah, I was getting this funny, fun vibe, but there's lots of love there for him. I have to be honest, like, as we've been talking, I've been wanting to like itch my nose and grab my nose a lot. My nose just feels very tickly and itchy. I don't know whether, I know this sounds really crazy, but I don't know whether he had quite a bit of like nose hair and that it used to tickle him, or if he used to tickle you with his facial hair. But it's like, I just feel so like fluffy and tickly right now. It doesn't feel like a cold or anything like that though. It feels like, again, like a jokey thing. So let me know if that makes sense. But yeah, he's just popped in, and obviously the other man with the teeth also popped in. So know that they love you, know that they're with you, and they're always going to be with you. He has been trying to call me and I haven't wanted to talk to him. Yeah, okay. So with that friend who's been trying to call you, I think then that your partner would actually be wanting to let you know that he's aware of that. He's aware that this friend has been trying to speak to you, and that's why he was bringing up the recipe for disaster. So that's your choice. I can't tell you whether to speak to this person or not, but know that your partner knows that situation is going on. His nasal hair bothered him, and carers wouldn't use nose trimmer. I mean, it's really, I can see how it bothered him, because I can really feel it. It feels really like, do you know what I mean? Quite, I'm making funny faces now, like, but it's quite intense. So I can understand why it did bother him. Do you know what I find so interesting with mediumship is like how you can literally just feel the most craziest things, like nasal hair. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, sometimes I think, why did they bring things like that up? But you know what? They bring things like that up because actually that is significant. Not everyone can say that they had nasal hair that really bothered them and make the media be itching their nose and constantly be messing with their nose to the point where they have to then realize and listen. And this is the type of stuff that I teach with my mediumship. Like, I actually teach students to understand all these different things that are happening to them physically when a spirit is connecting in, because this is the type of stuff that can really be significant for people. So that person could be like, yeah, that's him. That is totally him. After he died, I trimmed it before anyone saw him. Oh, bless, that's really, really sweet. So again, that's quite significant, because him bringing up the nasal hair would also be sort of like maybe a message to you to let you know that he knew that you did that. So I think I'm really glad that you did that, and he's really glad that you did that, because, you know, it shows that you was honoring him and looking after him and making sure that even though he was no longer with his physical body, you were still caring about what he cared or what he would have wanted. So that's really, really lovely thing to do in your own little way. So he gives thanks for that. Okay, Sandra? So I'm going to leave it there with him. I think he could carry on chatting loads and he's quite fun, but I'm going to leave that one there, and I'm sending all his love to you. Sorry, Richard, was you just going to say something to me? Yes, that's what I thought. Okay, cool. So thank you so much, Sandra, for letting me connect in with him. He was very fun, and yeah, like, keep believing that he's there, because he's definitely there for you. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining in tonight. As I said, I didn't actually do any sort of like teaching. I just felt the vibe of doing some lovely readings for you guys tonight. We are in the waxing period, so the waxing period is quite a nice energy to do readings and stuff like that. Thank you so much to Richard for having me on here, and thank you guys for tuning in, new and regulars. I really appreciate you coming to watch me, and I really appreciate you coming to join the other psychics and mediums on this show as well. Thank you for sharing and tagging, and yeah, for just continuing to be there so we can continue to do our work. We really appreciate it. And I will see you in 2 weeks' time on the Tuesday. I can't remember the date, but 2 weeks Tuesday, 8 p.m. UK time. And I will love you and leave you. Lots of love. Oh, happy birthday, Brandy. Lots of love.